Hello guys, it turns out we are all well. Today I want us to do something very interesting, and of course this is in relation to data analytics. You'll find that where you're sitting today, it is very important that you have this knowledge of data analytics. So you'll find that we have various tools which are there, which we normally use, of course, for data analytics. And of course, the whole origin, of course, is from Excel. So today I want us to learn something about how we can prepare very dynamic dashboards using just normal tools like Excel before we proceed to the concept of Power Business Intelligence. So let us use this case scenario where I'm given certain data in relation to a specific company where we do have summary for sales that is daily sales, monthly sales, and quarterly sales. So number one, I want us to learn about pivot table, because pivot table is a very powerful tool in Excel, which normally assists us to summarize a huge set of data within some few clicks. So this is what I want us to learn, and how will you go about that? At this point, remember this knowledge is very important for those in finance, of course, for those, so long as you're doing anything to do with business. This knowledge of analytics is very important for us. So using this data, I want us to do something very quick, and you realize it will take us not more than 10 minutes for us to prepare the whole set. So I want us to prepare a dashboard using this data. The first thing that you need to do is to create a pivot table. So how will you generate a pivot table? To generate a pivot table, this is easy. All that you need to do is to remember that you need to click anywhere within our table. Then you come to insert button at this point. So when you go to insert, you click insert table from the table range. So you'll find that at this point, it will fetch the whole data that I want up to the last bit. So I want to have this in a new worksheet. What you do, you just do what? You just do OK. So in this case, you can see I'm having, of course, our ribbon here. That is not ribbon per se, but our pivot field where we can select what you want. So our task here is very simple. I want us to do a summary in terms of daily sales, monthly sales, quarterly sales. And finally, of course, we can now generate a dynamic dashboard. So how will you go about it? In this case, in our pivot table here, I want to select my daily sales. And in this case, what do we want to achieve? We want the data to do sales. So within some few clicks, you'll find that I have a summary. From the whole, this set, in this case, the way it was like this, I have a summary with quick steps. We already have a summary for what? For daily sales. So I wish this to show me that I am dealing with days, not row labels. So how do you go about it? That is easy. You come to design, report layout, then show tabular form. So you realize that it will convert this automatically and give us what? And give us days. So once I have this data, I'll wish to do a visualization in terms of having a pictorial presentation of what we're having here. So how do you go about it? This is easy again. All you need to do is to come insert. And what are we inserting? We're inserting pivot table. So you come insert pivot chart. We're inserting pivot chart. So in this case, you can find that it will be upon us to select which one will suit us. So at this point, maybe I need to select this to show our daily sales, which in this case, these are what we have. So maybe I'll wish to format this data so that it will fit what I really need. So number one, I can see that probably these bars, I can, of course, enlarge them. So how will you go about it? You click the bar, right click on format data series, you come and reduce your gap width here. Come and reduce your gap width. to that point. For presentation purposes, probably I won't need this, so I'll just remove this bit. I won't need probably the value, so what I can do, we can just get rid of that. But I'll want these bars to display for me the values automatically. So how do you go about it? We need to add data labels. So you right click, come to data labels here, then we add data labels so that you realize that on each and every bar here already we have what? We have, of course, our set values. And of course, we can, of course, rename this to be what? Our daily cells, okay? So after we're done with the first step, what I need to do, I won't be required to copy all this or to redo all the steps all over again. All we can do is simple. We just come and select, of course, what? We can just come and select this data. We copy it to our new sheet. See? So that sheet 1, probably I'll call it daily cells. Okay? We call this daily cells. Sheet 2, maybe I want on a monthly cells. So you can have this as a monthly sales data. So all I'd be required to do here after my on our field, whenever I click this pivot area, of course, you'll find that the pivot table fields will appear. So I don't need days. All I need is what? Months. Voila, I'm having my set data. I want a presentation of this. So how will we go about our presentation? The same case that will be easy. I can now come and click anywhere there. You come and insert your pivot chart. Select a chart that you feel will be presentable in your eyes. At this point, maybe you wish to go with say bar graph. So you can select that point. We have it there. January all the way to December. See? So this is what you have. Maybe at this point, I can feel like probably these bars are quite squeezed. So how do you go about it? The same way to increase our bars, you click any bar, right click, come and format data series, then you reduce your gap width here. See? So I'm just reducing my gap width, maybe up to that point to be okay. So once I have this set, once I have this set, I can, for presentation purposes, maybe I can remove all this data and add our data labels. See, we have that set. And probably I feel like the first case I had blue. Also this one, I wish to have a different color. So how do you go about it? On your bar, you just right click, then come fill. Select the fill of your choice. Maybe I need to fill it with a different color, like that color. I wish to fill that color. See? So I'm having this set. So you're done with our monthly cells. Probably, I also need the quarterly cells. So how do you go about the quarterly cells? Same case. We come and copy paste at this point. So once I've copy pasted at that point, all I'll need to do is to remove my monthly cells and to put quarterly cells. Within few clicks, you have your set, right? So at this point, we have this as our quarterly cells. So quarterly cells, see? We have our set here. We have our set. And this time round, presentation graphical, maybe I'll use another format. Maybe pivot chart, we can decide to use pie chart. And for pie chart, we can decide to go and use the donut chart, right? So that this should be our presentation for this case. I can see that this donut hole is so huge. I can reduce this donut hole. How will you reduce the donut hole? You right-click the donut. Then come format data series. What do you want to do? We want to decrease the donut hole size. Maybe up to that point. This time round, probably we wish to add our callouts. So you right click on any chart on that point that are labels. This time round, we add callouts. See? So up to this point, whatever that we've done within those few steps, we have prepared the summary of daily sales, summary of monthly sales, and summary of quarterly sales. I need a dashboard on this presentation. How do you go about it? Of course, you had another sheet. At this point, maybe for presentation, I can fill it with a different color, any color of your choice. You can select that, for example. Then I'll call this sheet dashboard. I'll call this dashboard. So that what I'll be doing, I'll just be selecting my data. I copy paste my set at that point. I come copy paste these graphs on my dashboard area, the set that you're having. I'll also want to maybe, or maybe you can just leave this one whole because it is wide. So I can come and select my quarterly sales data. We copy and we paste at this point. So that once I have this data, what else do I need to do? Because this is part of my dashboard, but it is not dynamic, right? It is not dynamic. It is not dynamic. I'll also wish probably maybe to add the timeline, which you can add by the way. So for us to make it dynamic, then these are what we need to do, okay? Come and select any of your bar. I need you to come to insert, then select your slicer here. Slicer, I need to connect all these sets. These are our slicers, ones that we have created. For daily sales, you can decide that probably I won't need the value item because already you have the values in our graphs. So maybe you go with the days and months, right? And this one, because we have only 4 sets, I can have our column to be 4. So that just for presentation purposes, see, just for presentation purposes. And this is the data that we do have. We can go ahead and of course add our timeline if need be. So what we can do, I need us to add our timeline. So I can just, of course, increase our case here, search. Then I need to add our timeline. So we come and add timeline, the fact of date, okay? So we can have it, can have this somewhere here. We can have this somewhere here, okay? So that we're having the period, the one that we're looking at. If at all you want to select days, you can select days. If at all you want months, you can select the months, of course, at that point. Which these are what we have in terms of our in terms of our months. So we have this here, right? So I want us to, of course, make this data to be very dynamic. So how do we connect all these graphs together? By connecting all these graphs, that is where I want you to click on the slicer that we've added, then come and click report connections. We report all these, meaning that we want to link them together. We want to link them together. So once I've linked all these slicers, and to see this effect, you want the data for quarter 2. If I click quarter 2, see what will be happening. I'll be getting the whole set. Probably I want this for quarter 3. See what is happening. Let me squeeze this so that you can see how this item is very dynamic. We want for quarter 4. The whole bit, your whole set is changing. You want for quarter, maybe you want for quarter 2. See? You want for quarter 1. You want for quarter 3. This is a dynamic dashboard so that even when you're doing your presentation, everything is just set. Everything is just set. Within some few clicks of using, of course, a pivot table, you have your whole set. You see on the what will happen on the timeline, like you can literally work out these items. See, selecting on a monthly basis, you have your set. You literally have your set. So this is how, of course, you can always tend to work this one out, which at the same time, you can connect this with the rest of the items so that whenever you want the data, the timeline, it just give you whatever that you want to achieve. See, this is how you can create a very dynamic dashboard using, of course, a pivot table. You can go ahead and format this the way you want format, so long as the principle is just the same. So today I just wanted to guide you on how easy, of course, you can create your dashboards using Excel. But something surprising is that with Power BI, imagine if Excel can do this. What can Power BI do? If at all Excel can do this, what will Power BI do? And that's why I'm taking this chance to invite you guys to our Power BI training, which in this case, it is more to do with just advanced Excel, the one that we've seen right now. I'll take this chance and invite you to our training for Power BI. Of course, we should be having it as from next week. At this point, below the video, I'm going to attach a link. If at all you will wish to attend this training for Power BI, kindly join that group using the link that I'm going to share. More details of the classes will always be shared in the group. To this point, I believe you've learned something and you're going to practice it later on. To this point, thank you so much. See you in our next segment. Bye-bye.